Good evening, everybody, and a very, very warm welcome to Meaningful Monday. Can you believe we're already in the month of October? I'm not too sure about all of you, but it seems like the year has gone particularly quickly, even though a lot of it has been for many of us in lockdown. I'm really excited for tonight. Some people are brand new, never been here before. So for the new people, really a very warm welcome. Thank you for joining. For the people who always do join or come back or come every now and then, either way, it doesn't matter. Just want to say welcome back to everyone. Some people might just keep joining as I speak. For the new people, just to remind you that Meaningful Monday, what it really is it's a free. Whoops. Hi, Mel. Welcome. Hi. It's a free webinar on the first Monday of every month and a different topic every night. Every time that I do it. And if you want to know what are available, there's over 200 videos. Not all of them necessarily Meaningful Monday, but just like helpful tips, short videos, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and up to an hour on Meaningful Monday on my YouTube channel. You can either Google Silver Method Australia or my name. The YouTube channel will come up. They're always recorded and they're there. So we are recording tonight just for the people who are in a different time zone or can't come this evening. So Meaningful Monday is just really about raising awareness to help everyone live their best life. And the awareness that we're trying to raise is that you do create your own reality. And sometimes for many people, I think including myself, if I go back to before 2006, I thought life kind of just happened and my responsibility was to respond to life as best I can. And how I responded would determine my experience of life. Well, after I watched the movie The Secret in 2006, I realized that we're actually not responding to life, we're actually creating our life. It's the law of attraction through our thoughts and through our feelings. So tonight I'm really excited. I'm going to be sharing for the very first time out of my own book, Living in the Flow. And that came from a survey. Not that I decided to do it, but I put a survey out. If there was one mastermind that I could run before the end of the year, which book would you prefer? And I put the two most popular mastermind books that I always run up to compete, which is Think and Grow Rich and As a Man Thinketh. Then I put another book on there, which was a very successful mastermind, fully booked and sold out literally in 3 hours or something, which is The Science of Getting Rich. And then I just put my book there for curiosity, and the votes came back over 50% wanted Living in the Flow. I thought, okay, if you like Living in the Flow, I decided to run a mini mastermind on that, just a short one. And then it was intuition or guidance, which I'll share with you tonight, that I get often. It's just through, that's why Living in the Flow has got a chapter on this guidance, which I'll share with you. But I got this guided like a nudge, like just intuition, call it a hunch, whatever name you want to give it. Just after I did that survey, which was, no, don't do a mini mastermind. People need to have the experience, and through experience can they understand and have true understanding and a real transformation and learning, whereas a mastermind can often be just intellectual and discussion. So if you create an experience through holistic learning, and holistic learning means that you're engaging in a process, physically, you're there. Mentally, you're using your mind and applying it there. Emotionally, the exercises we do will engage on emotional level. Spiritually, you are there, you feel connected to a power greater than you, whatever that may mean for you. And last but not least, the fifth element of holistic learning is socially. And the value is on cutting and dicing an experience that we create. And in that cutting and dicing, you'll get an epiphany or an insight or some awareness about yourself or the nature of reality, life, whatever you want to name it. And through that is like a kind of a transformation. So I'm not doing a mini mastermind. I've decided to actually do a 1-day retreat on just the first 4 chapters of the book. And the first 3 are the keystones or the key fundamentals or the pillars of the whole book, are the first 3 chapters. And chapter 4 is just a really great experience on vision. And I thought we could do something fun with vision boards there and a little bit different to what vision boards normally are. I'll be incorporating a technique from my Rapid Results coaching as well in that technique. So for those who want to join the retreat, this will help you decide if you want to do it. If you don't want to join the retreat, that's also fine. What I'm going to share with you tonight will also be helpful and add value coming from the book. Mel, if I may just ask, if you don't mind, to switch your lights on to either on or off, just that the flashing for me is a little bit distracting. I don't mind if they're on, they're very pretty. If they can just not flash and stay on. Yeah. Yeah, perfect. Thank you. Okay, now they're just flashing slowly. All right, so let's begin. So just let me just have a raise of hands here. Let me just put you all open. You all got a button there, which is reactions. Just raise your hand if you think that I had a goal to write a book, perhaps. If you think I had a goal to write a book, just raise your hand if you think I did. Okay, one, Jeanine, only one. Only one person thinks so. Who thinks I never had a goal to write a book? Mother. Okay, no one else. In all the rest of you, is it one or is it two? Did you think I did have a goal to write a book? Raise your hand. Just raise it like this even. Okay. All right. Unfortunately, wrong. Just wanted to have a poll there. No, I didn't ever have a goal to write a book. So how the book came about, just to give you a brief background, I was lying in bed one night. I go to sleep really early, like 9:30. I'm in bed, fast asleep. It was about 1 o'clock in the morning. For anyone here who's done the Silver Method, you know that the dream technique asks you to record a dream. And after step 1, record dreams, plural. And when you're recording dreams, you record them any time of the night. If you wake up with a recollection of a dream at midnight or whenever a strange time, you just got to record it. It was about 1 o'clock in the morning. I turned over and I was in like a half dreamy, half awake state. And lying in bed there, it was almost like a form of prayer or just a question in my head, any way you want to call it. And it was like a prayer. And I just asked, what is the best next step for my life? And then I was like falling back into sleep. And in this dream state, it was honestly like a voice spoke to me. And my intuition is often audible. It is like a voice answering me and it says, write a book. And I just said, with my mind, what's the book about? And the answer came back, what do you want people to know and what do you want people to do if you can't reach them through your own physical presence, if they were beyond your physical presence? So I said, okay, great, that sounds good. But now what's the book about? And the answer came back the same. What do you want people to know if you couldn't reach them through your physical presence, or what do you want them to do? And I said, okay, got it. But what's the book actually about? Because I have no idea. I want to write a book. And it just said, stick with that question and everything will come to you. So I lay in bed there thinking, well, what would I want people to know if I couldn't speak to them? So if I could spend a whole day with you, what would I want you to really know to give you the best opportunity for your best life? What would I want you to know? And if you weren't there, well, what is it? So the first thing that came into my mind is I actually want people to know what are their true highest priorities. Their true highest priorities. So in the chat box, just write, what do you think should be your highest priorities? If you've read my book, please don't answer. If you haven't read my book, you can answer. If I said to you, what do you think your highest priorities are? Any guesses? Just doesn't matter what it is. Just type in anything, go for your life, doesn't matter. Just type whatever you want. Or open your mic. Sorry, open your mic and mute and you can speak. If you read my book, don't answer. If you haven't, just take a guess. What do you think is a high priority for you? Anyone?
Not be stressed out.
Not be stressed out. Okay, what else? Good one. Did you say something, Biljana?
I'm thinking, my mind's all over the place. I'm thinking to try and live your best life. It depends. If like at this stage of my life, it's one thing I was thinking. Before my health, I was thinking different. So now the most important thing for me is my health, to get healthy, and then to live the best life that I can.
Okay, great. Anybody else? Yes, no, maybe? There's a chat, someone in the chat. To be kind and compassionate in my life. Lovely. To live life with no regret. Lovely. I love that. I love them all. Okay. Good health and be the best I can be for myself and others. I like that, Sophie. Living in the present. Very good, Shail. Welcome, Shail. I never greeted you earlier. Welcome. Okay, those are all fabulous and probably very similar to what I would have said myself if I was in the beta level, meaning awake like you are now with an analytical mind and logical mind. I probably would have said the same. But as you know, when you're in a dream state or at alpha or even theta, a deep level of mind, you're completely connected to intuition. And the answer that I got that night, I have to say, came to me or through me. It's not something I had in my head, and I would have never been able to come up with this if I wasn't in this kind of dream state. And I'm mentioning that because intuition or dreams are extremely valuable in your life to guide you to living your best life. So this is what happened in my dream state. What are my highest priorities? I thought, well, I'd like people to know their highest priorities. What are they? The first thing that popped in my mind was I'd like people to know that their highest priorities, one of the highest priorities is to have a connection with source energy. Not that you're not connected, you're always connected. Is to have an awareness of your constant connection to source. And my book is basically on the last 2 or 3 years of my life only when I wrote the book in 2017. So it was from maybe 2014 to 17. Only those 2 to 3 years I came into the book, the stories that are in the book. I didn't put my whole life in there. But the connection to source energy was something that I really, really developed significantly in those couple of years leading up to it. And I realized how much it had changed my life for the better because this is not about religion. It doesn't matter what your beliefs are. You could be any religion, or you could be agnostic, or you could even be atheist. There is an energy or a intelligence that's governing everything, from every tiny seed that becomes a grand big tree, or the fact that your heart is beating every second of the day without your control, without your interference or your effort. And what is that muscle of your heart that can beat? If you try and pump, the example in my book is try and pump your fist like this 70 times a minute, the same as your heartbeat, and within 1 minute, you'll actually have a spasm or a cramp in your hand. You couldn't do it for an hour, definitely. And you certainly couldn't do it for a day, let alone years and years. So what kind of muscle is the heart that it can actually pump like that? And it keeps its own rhythm and it regulates itself. If you run or you're climbing stairs, it regulates itself. It can also have emotions. It feels emotions. We know through many studies and scientific research, like Institute of Heart Math, someone put on the silver chat the other day, or today even, I think it was Jacinta, about how the heart actually has an electromagnetic field. It also has photons. This is all science. And the more we are in harmony with our heart and in a peaceful and grateful state, projecting love into the world of healing, from you going from the average person of 50 photons to 100,000. In other words, the heart has got, I can go on and on. There are so many qualities and amazing, miraculous things just about one organ in your body, like the heart, let alone this entire universe and the way all the planets are hanging in perfect design. The earth is exactly the right proximity away from the sun, that life on earth is perfect and light is perfect. If we were 1 centimeter closer, we would burn. If we were 1 centimeter further, we would freeze. How is that? This intelligence that governs everything is literally living and breathing you. So when I got this awareness through years of meditation and workshops and courses that I'd been on, I came one day, I think it was in reading Autobiography of a Yogi and practicing very long, like retreats of meditation for hours a day, like Vipassana, 10 days in a row, from 4:30 in the morning till 7:30 at night, meditating for 10 solid days in absolute silence. Going through practices like that, I did change and transform. And as I'm trying to convey that and what the benefits were without having someone to do that, try and shortcut it for someone, is just this awareness of this source energy that literally breathes you. And I'm a person of faith, so I call it God. You know that I or you are the breath of God in you. It's breathing you every minute of the day. And you are such a miracle of creation yourself. Every organ in your body, every system in your body, every tiny plant that grows, the intelligence in plants, in animals, in the species. I had a thought today. I went for a walk and thinking, how does a bird have its bird song? What's different about its vocal cords? Like all of the one species of bird, let's say, like kookaburras. All kookaburras have the same bird song. All budgies have the same bird song. All lyrebirds have the same bird song. How is it that they have the same bird song? Are they intrinsically designed differently? How do they learn that? Like these kind of questions of infinite intelligence existing in everywhere in our life. And this first chapter is really about seriously developing through practice, actual practices, not through theory, a sense of awe and wonder. The more awe and wonder you experience in life with intention initially, eventually becomes you. The more miraculous your life becomes, the more you live in a state of gratitude and appreciation for the miracles literally in everything. I think it was Albert Einstein who said you can either see life as if everything's a miracle or as if nothing is a miracle. So with that sense of awe and wonder, we develop this connection with Source. And why is it so important to have this connection? The reason is Source energy is omnipotent, all-powerful, all-knowing, ever-present, all-creative. It gives you access to more of this infinite power. So when we're connected to that source, we can actually lean on that source. You can ask for that source to have more effect in your life. So this was the first priority, is to develop this awareness of our constant connection. The second highest priority was that a person needs to find their life purpose. The reason this is a priority is because for over 40 years, I did not know my own. And I wasn't unhappy. I had a good life. I had a great career. I changed industry a few times. I always enjoyed my life and everything. But underlying throughout my life, after a couple of years in a new job and getting the hang of things and doing well, even though I had success, I used to have this underlying feeling there's got to be more to life than this. There's got to be more to life than this. But what was that thing? And through all the years, I never quite got it. I never knew what it was. In fact, I used to often get annoyed at the term life purpose when I heard people talk about it, because for me it was this like mystery. And then my younger brother passed on suddenly in 2012. And it was at that stage that I thought, what am I really doing with my life? Because it brings to you this awareness that life is short, it's really fragile, it's really precious. My younger brother was only 21 and he passed on suddenly. He suffered from epilepsy, and whilst cleaning the garden one day, he had a fit and a seizure and fell in the pool and drowned. And one day he was here, one day he was gone. And that tragedy kind of brought me to a massive, sudden awakening. And that awakening was, what am I doing with my life? And all I knew was that I didn't know what it is that I needed to do or what even I wanted to do, but I knew that what I was doing wasn't it. I wasn't fulfilled in my corporate job. I just realized I was like a mouse in a wheel. 5 years had gone by in a very stressful and highly pressurized job, even though I was doing well. And I thought there's got to be something else. And what it was, my life lacked meaning. And that's what purpose is. So I make this the other highest priority. I think finding your life purpose has got to be the number one goal that anyone has in their life. And even if you know your life purpose, it evolves. It's not this one thing you claim, okay, I got it now, and now I'm happy ever after, and I can just put my feet up and just carry on where I'm at. It doesn't work that way. As you evolve and change and expand, so does your purpose evolve and change and expand. So when I personally went from that life of 20 years in corporate, successful, if you want to call it that, from outside measurements, whatever they are, to coming to realize that I was unfulfilled and not knowing what that was, it was through intuition that I found my life purpose, and it guided me there through a kind of meandering pathway. It wasn't straight down from here to there, let's go. This is where you need to go, Jeanine, take step A, B, and C, you'll be there. No, it was a hunch, an intuitive nudge. And as these things happened, I found my life purpose, and the difference between my life before and what it is today are chalk and cheese. It's the fulfillment, the contentment, the waking up every day, having the feeling that your life matters, that are making a difference. That purpose for me is completely different. So I wanted people to know if you have 3 priorities, it's these 3 things. It's having this awareness of your constant connection, because that actually is where your intuition comes from. Intuition is nothing more than guidance from above. Intuition is nothing more than a GPS to a car. If your human body was like a car driving around on this planet Earth, and you didn't know how to get from where you are to your life purpose, but you could switch on a GPS in your car and that it would guide you with directions to find your purpose. That's what intuition is. You can call the satellite source energy. It's giving you the signal, and the signal is your intuition. So if you don't have good intuition or don't trust your intuition, it's like static in that GPS signal. And we get what? We get lost. So that's how we get the feeling of being lost in life, is having no purpose, no core theme. And the feeling of being guided and something is guiding you and you can feel the guided hand of source or God in your life absolutely is tangible and real when you've got this constant connection to that source and you have and guide your intuition. So now let's go back to the dream. I'm lying in bed. I get this. What are your highest priorities? I want people to know these 3 things. And as I thought of these 3 things, they became bubbles in my dream. So if just watch the screen, these 3 things merged as bubbles as I'm dreaming. Okay, I don't know how to create bubbles, but in my dream, these were bubbles. And these things kind of merged as bubbles. And the minute they merged in my dream state, suddenly I had these epiphanies. And I don't take credit for any of this. I don't. I believe that this is a download from above. It's too smart to be me, to be honest. Not that I'm not smart. I am, but this is beyond my own smartness. I realized, wow, if you have a connection to source and you know what your life purpose is, then you actually can live on purpose. And what that means to live on purpose, it means that we are intentional every day about what we're doing because we have a vision for our life. And that vision comes from a combination of your own ambitions and your passions, as well as intuitive guidance. And if you know what your life purpose is, and you do actually have an awareness of your own intuition and can trust it, you start living a guided life. And the stories in my book of, I mean it, like goose pimple moments that I know are not me. It's some hand guiding my life with the most extraordinary coincidences and circumstances. And the closer I became to source energy or God and my connection, my awareness through many practices, daily meditation was one of them. Gratitude journaling was another one. Just having this awareness all the time. Having the awareness of when intuition is guiding me and absolutely without fail following the guidance. Same as getting the download for this book. It came to me and I didn't really want to write a book. It's a lot of work. But you follow the guidance and you keep following the guidance with what I'd call obedience. And you find as you follow the guidance, you become blessed, more blessed and more blessed. And your life becomes pretty much miraculous. And we're getting closer and closer now to really just living in the flow. So living a guided life is when your purpose and your intuition collide. And then when you have this connection to source energy and you have your intuition and you trust this source with total conviction, you then actually transcend fear and start to live more and more with faith. And the more you live with faith, all I can tell you is literally miracles show up in your life. If you go to any story from any person, it doesn't matter if it's a biblical story or stories of people living today, when they tell you there's been a miracle, a real miracle, there has been an enormous faith in that story. So faith doesn't just happen. It's not just a lucky thing that happens. We actually do cultivate faith, and we cultivate it more and more. The stronger that awareness with our connection to source. When I say this connection with source, is this awareness that you actually are source. You are crafted, developed, created, whatever it may be, from source. You're a physical extension walking around of source energy. You are. You're a piece of God, in other words. And that's got the same qualities and creative properties as this infinite omnipotent source, The only difference is the magnitude or power of that creative ability. So we are creative, but Source is omnipotent and powerfully creative. And when you tap into that power, you access that power, and that's what faith is, and that's how it creates miracles in your life. So then with that, all these chapters just popped in my head, and I realized, well, if all these 6 things are in play at any given time in your life, your 3 highest priorities are clear, you living them through practice, you'll then live on purpose, living a guided life, living with faith, then the sweet spot of living with all these conditions is the center point, which is living in the flow. So I'm going to just take you through a brief top of the waves of the book. And then just to add, now I'm back in my bed. I've just realized this. It's come to my awareness. And if you know, with the dream technique in the Silver method, you've got to record the dream. And you know what? This is for me. If you open your eyes, for me, the dream often just dissolves. It's not often that the dream stays with that clarity. And there's a lot of moving parts here, as you can see. Oops, let me just put this on mute. And I didn't want to miss anything. So I kind of ran it over in my head once. And I thought, please, if I put the light on, please don't let me forget what I've just understood, what I've just seen. Just let me remember it. Let me remember it. And as I'm running it over, I suddenly got this awareness that, hey, this is not enough. If you live in the flow, which I've experienced in my life, I'm not saying I always live in the flow, but I have lived in the flow a lot, many times. Times I haven't, but when I'm there, I know that feeling, and you probably know that feeling too. If you've ever had that feeling where synchronicities happen, it feels like every day is miraculous, you're riding a wave. I realized that this is not enough. When I got this in my own life, the only word I have for it is satisfaction. All I had was enormous satisfaction. And I thought, that's not the purpose of life, is to live walking around with satisfaction. The purpose of life is to have a purpose, and purpose means serving others. It's living beyond yourself. So then I realized, hey, this book needs a part 2 here, and part 2 is about living beyond yourself. It's about living fully by serving others. It's about healing yourself and others. So in Biljana, you spoke about health. Absolutely. It's about healing yourself. And when we heal ourselves, that whole chapter is about love. Love for yourself, which is the most important relationship you'll ever have to cultivate, because all your relationships are a reflection of the relationship you have with yourself. So when you have a high degree of self-love, your relationships on the outside improve. If you've got bad relationships of conflict, of being out of alignment, of resentment, of anger, I can tell you, you have that. Even if it's at a subconscious level, you have that going on with yourself to a degree. Self-resentment, self-anger, whatever it may be, lack of self-forgiveness. So that is also that chapter on healing yourself and others is about love. Self-love, love for others, and forgiveness. Forgiveness of self, forgiveness of others. And then it's also about living your legacy. And that's how the book ends, with a legacy. Otherwise, what did we spend all these years and years and years on this planet doing if we were just here to fulfill our own self-indulged ambition and then just die and move on? What was that for? It doesn't really have much meaning. But when there's legacy, and I didn't write the last chapter as leaving a legacy, its title is living a legacy. Because every single day, even today or tomorrow, regardless if you do or don't know your life purpose yet, regardless if you're living in the flow or not every day or as yet, or haven't or don't know what that is, or you have had it and it's on and off, whatever it may be for you, every day you can choose to live with the awareness of living your legacy. And that just means if you change one life, if one life breathes easier because of you, you've served an enormous purpose. If you stop some young teenager from talking himself out of committing suicide, you have served a huge purpose. That is a legacy. if you've started up anything, if you've created a garden that's magnificent and then moved on to another house and you've left that place better than what you found it, that's living a legacy too. It can be anything. Investing in your children and instilling good values in your children about how to also live a life of service and purpose is living a legacy. So that's the whole book in its encapsulation. I'm just going to take it through some top of the waves here. So I just want to have a sip. So chapter 1, developing a consistent connection with source energy. It just says, he who can no longer pause to wonder and stand wrapped in awe is as good as dead. His eyes are closed. Living with a very strong sense of awe and wonder changed my life. Absolutely changed my life. I'm 50-ish now today. When I was 20 something, I was like, when I was a teenager, typical, know-it-all, I know, and was arrogant or took things for granted, and always I know. You can't, I know. And as I matured over the years and meditated more and practiced serving more and having a heart of servanthood and humility and teachability and developing an enormous sense of awe and wonder intentionally, by actually intentionally and purposefully having awe and wonder, looking at life through that lens, I did some holistic learning workshops when I was younger, not my own, I attended them, and those kind of experiences cracked me open. And when I developed a deeper sense of awe and wonder today, if I look back on how I used to be where I am today, I'm so different in the regard of awe and wonder. I am so in awe of a simple thing as a flower, or just sitting and watching an ant. I know it sounds a bit bizarre now, but I can sit and watch an ant with a great sense of awe. How intelligent that little thing is. He's so tiny, but he's intelligent in his own way, and communicating with others and building a home, collecting food, having a purpose themselves in whatever they're doing. So in everything, you can have this awe and wonder. Your life becomes more awesome, because that's where awe comes from, awesome, and more wonderful. And this, in my retreat that I'm going to be running in December, we're going to do experiences out in nature, in noble silence, in a particular area where it's just nature, and in a nature walk with certain intention before we begin, have a sense of awe and wonder, and then debrief that as a group and share the experiences as a group and kind of cut and polish that experience. And when you do, you'll find you'll have almost a sense of deep gratitude, which is transformational. And this we can practice on a daily basis. So that's the first one. The second one is, when you find your life purpose, I just remind myself that when I was looking for life purpose and I had no idea where to find it, and I was doing even silver manifesting CDs that I had, the life purpose exercise where you write, all those who've done the silver method know that exercise. I never really got much the first time, the second time, the third time. I never got any answers, and I was like, something wrong with me. But then I got on a teaching call with one of my mentors in the John Maxwell team. I'm part of the John Maxwell team, for those who don't know what that is. John Maxwell's the world's number one leadership author. And I was in a talk one day, or in a teaching call, with my mentor the one day, and he spoke about, when you want to find your life purpose, don't ask what is my purpose. Ask, what are you passionate about? Because in your passion lies your God-given purpose. So for this exercise on the retreat, we have a reflection in a workbook. It's all printed. It comes from the book. It's the questions that I have at the end there. And we're going to sit in reflection after doing a meditation and answering a whole lot of questions about digging deep into ourselves, because we do have the answers within us. They do lie within us. Sometimes we're just not aware of them. And if we allow them in the right space and atmosphere to let them bubble up, we can come with some profound breakthroughs for ourselves. And that's what I want for everyone. When I first started getting on the path of finding my life purpose, it wasn't like, oh, here's an epiphany, this is my life purpose. It wasn't. It was about passion. And then when a person gets confused as to, sometimes we have a passion for something, but we absolutely doubt we could ever do that full-time or as a career or anything, that whole limiting belief structure, we have to blast through somehow. And that's what it was for me. When I knew what my passion was, I would do anything to spend my time doing that, which is teaching and training. Anything to do that. But there was no way I could see myself doing that back then in 2013, 14, 15. I could not see how I could do that. I had so many limiting beliefs. And then the awareness came. How do you transform that? Well, when you develop your intuition, you start getting guidance in your life. So Wayne Dyer says, if prayer is us talking to God, then intuition is God talking to us. And for those of you who've done the Silver Method, many of you here have, you know how intuition is real. It's tangible. And when you learn to tune in, information just comes to you. And the more you practice it, if you think of caseworking, how information just comes to you, the more you practice intuition, the more you start getting guidance in your life, whether it's through something you hear, just an idea in your head, or something like myself through a dream. The whole book came in a dream. That's intuition. And as I look back in the stories that are in my book, it's the most obscure things at the most, I'll say it, inappropriate times. The timing is never right. And you get this intuitive impulse or intuitive guidance that doesn't fit in your life at that moment. But with the awareness, this is guidance. It has to change the trajectory of your life to take you somewhere. Where is that somewhere? To your highest potential, to your highest awareness, to your highest fulfillment of your life purpose. And it comes through intuition. So there again, we explore and deepen intuition. And the more stories that I take through in the book, it helps you to relate. That's all it is. It's really about relating. And as you relate and get examples, you start to see them in your own life. Then living on purpose is really about this intentionality to be and live and experience a life of meaning and fulfillment. And the only way we're going to get there is through having a vision for where we want to go. And for many people, they don't have, or they haven't written down or clarified a vision. They have an idea, but many of you have been on any of my masterminds. We've often had a vision writing exercise in one of the masterminds. And you know how people struggle to write that out? They have an idea, but to write it takes them time. And it's because we have almost an element of fear. If I write this and I don't achieve it, am I a failure? Can I think that big? Do I need to dream that big? Maybe just make it reasonable or realistic. Where do I go? What do I write about? What are all the areas of my life? What is it that I truly want? People get stuck. So visioning is very important on how you do visioning and how you write a vision statement. So I'll just put this quote here. I say dream big, really and truly reach for the moon. Because even if you miss your land amongst the stars, and it's important to dream big, bold. The best way to say it is you've got to have dreams so big that you know that if you achieve them, only God could have done that. That's the only way I can say it. People need to look and say, wow, the only way that Jeanine could have achieved that is, there must have been the hand of God in that thing. That's where your dreams need to be. Why? Because you do need to trust that connection with source. You do need to be aware of your intuition, that it guides you. And when you get it, no matter how weird and obscure and untimely it is, follow it with obedience. And with this and getting to more and more to your life purpose, and as it expands for you, is to follow it. That is going to be living your best life. That is going to take you to living in the flow. Because the truth is, most people fail in life, not because they aim too high and miss. No, most people fail in life because they aim too low and hit. So the most important thing is that you must have a bold vision, and to create a strong vision to take you somewhere and absolutely inspire you to take new action, to be courageous and willing enough to break through your own limiting beliefs, let go of an older version of yourself and start to become a new high potential version of yourself, takes a vision. So part of the retreat is going to be a vision board exercise. But before we begin, we're going to do a meditation. And in that, there are questions that I ask you, and as you answer those questions, I ask you another deepening question as to why is that important to you, and as you get that answer, ask another question off that as to what's really about that is meaning for you, and go deeper and deeper until you get to a last distilling answer, and that is the real reason you want to live, the real reason you want to exist, your true deepest purpose for your life. Even if you don't know what that thing is, you know the purpose, the why that you're here, the why that you're born, the reason that you're alive. We uncover that, and then we go and create vision boards through, I'm going to say it, the law of attraction. The best way to do a vision board is actually with material like magazines and not necessarily computer images. And the reason I say that is with the law of attraction, things jump out. You pick up the right magazine, you turn to the right page, and the picture jumps out at you, or a quote jumps out at you. And through that experience, you're going, every time, and collecting and cutting these things out, and then creating your vision board. It's different to being cognitive and saying, I want a picture of this house. I want a picture of this place or this holiday destination, because that's goals, which is different to vision. You know, vision is the picture of your life and where you want to go, and goals are the stepping stones to get you towards that vision. Small, short, and medium-term goals. And then purpose is your central focal point. So there's purpose, vision, and goals in chapter 4. Purpose, vision, goals. Purpose is your center point. Like the sun is the center of the solar system, and every planet revolves around the sun. If purpose is your sun, it means that all the decisions you make are through the filter of your purpose. So you start living with more clarity in your life, and the more you become clear, the way more discerning you become in making choices. And this, my friends, is paramount, because you make about 35,000 choices per day. Imagine having a God-given filter through which to make all these decisions, knowing that as you make them, it's guiding you towards your highest potential and your true life purpose, which for many of us, we actually don't even know until we allow the guidance of source energy in our life to have a role and a hand in leading us towards that purpose. I didn't know what my purpose was. I was led to the purpose through experience, from intuition, and then it like smacked me in the face, or it was an epiphany. It was like, wow, is this it? Can it be this? And slowly, through this guidance and the decision-making filter, which is your underlying deepest purpose, you start becoming better and better through the intuition you receive, making your decisions, which are often also through intuition. You must make a decision. Do I or don't I? Do I take this road or don't I? Do I take this course or don't I? Do I invest all this money in furthering my whatever knowledge to get a certification in X, Y, or Y? Do I do it or don't I? How do you know if it's right for you? How do you know? Well, if you could trust that some infinitely powerful source is guiding you, you don't need to be in control. You know, because you're aware of your intuition and that guidance in your life. And that plays out more and more. Then you start living what I call a guided life. And when you are aware of what a guided life means, you start having a level of gratitude for every single experience, the good and the horrific. I'll say it again. You have gratitude for every experience, the good and the horrific. You are even grateful for everything that goes wrong, because you understand that somehow, some way, even this is for my higher good. Even this is taking me to where I need to go. Now, they could be mildly bad experiences, or they could be very bad experiences. If they're mildly bad, I'll give you an example. So it says here, sometimes good things fall apart, so better things can fall together. a simple story in my book is, as I realized what I was really passionate about, which was when I joined the John Maxwell team, it was coaching, speaking, and training. And at that stage, it was training leadership. I was really passionate about it. I thought my absolute dream life, to live the dream, would be to be able to earn a living doing that every day. But at that stage in corporate, I thought, there's no way I can do that. I can't do that. But I was determined, I will do that. So I'm going, I can't do that. Oh, I will do that. I'll just somehow do it. No, I can't do that. Doubt, fear, indecision. No, but I really want to. It's my passion. Visualize more, do a vision board, write statements more, gratitude journal, find a way to get there, speak to people, whatever it was. I'm going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. As I'm trying to work this out, and I created a vision board back then, I looked at it every day. A whole year went by. I was still in corporate, mouse in the wheel, unfulfilled, this dream in my head. I wish I could live this life. Don't know how to get there. Somewhere, out of nowhere, I get the opportunity to apply for a job at Google. This is back in 2014. Google, at that stage in 2014, not now, but then, it was like, oh my goodness, bow down, Google, like I'm not worthy. Amazing opportunity. I thought it was everything. So there, I got excited. I thought, well, maybe this is what I need to be doing. Not this coaching, speaking, and training. Forget about that. Maybe this is your big break. I went through all the motions, did the cover letter, sent my resume, got through, waited for my interview, and I was going to get one, and then something happened and I didn't get it. And at that stage back then, I was so disappointed. So disappointed. And I thought, what is the matter? What have I done wrong? How did I manifest this? The door closed. It's not what I wanted. Anyway, you get the picture. Here I am today, coaching, speaking, and training. I would not be here today if that door did not close. This is my true dream life. This one, not Google. But back then I didn't know. I had a different level of awareness and I thought it was that thing. And the disappointment I felt back then, no one could convince me that I shouldn't be disappointed. I was disappointed. I wanted to be disappointed. I was feeling miserable for that day. I was down in the dumps. You couldn't talk me out of it. That for me was where I was at then with that level of awareness. And then there were other experiences. When I was on the brink of leaving corporate and getting the courage to actually take that step, I found people doing what I'm doing. And I wrote proposals to them, which were like win-win situations, more for them than for me, to be honest. Having me work as an independent consultant in their business with all the curriculum of the John Maxwell team to help add value to their business and breadth and width. And I thought, who wouldn't want that? Then they get a bigger share of the money as well. And then I thought, this is definitely going to go through. Who would not say no to this proposal? And they, even them, said no. And then again, in those days, I thought, I'm so disappointed. How can this not work for me? This is what I want. This is my ticket out of corporate. Why do they say no? Doors closed. If that door never closed, I wouldn't be here today. I say it again. I wouldn't be here today doing what I really wanted and dreamt of doing. I would have hitched my dreams on someone else's wagon. I would have hitched my dreams onto someone else's tow bar. I would have never really got the highest accomplishment of the true dream life that I wanted. And this is what guided life is to have the awareness when doors close and when they open. Even illness is often a closed door. Even retrenchment, losing a job, a divorce, a trauma, abuse, all these things that we look as negative situations are often a doorway to a higher purpose. If you take someone like Louise Hay, who created Hay House, the biggest publishing house in the world of personal development books and programs, came from cancer and herself healing herself from cancer. When she had the cancer, she didn't see that as guiding her life, as a blessing. Only in hindsight, if you look back on her life and all that she created and how many lives she's blessed with this huge life purpose, can you say, I understand now how her life unfolded and her wound became her worth. Her wound became her magnificence for the world. and healing herself. So, as I said, that's a guided life. And when we have the awareness and develop a sense of gratitude for everything that happens, things start to really come together. And then living with faith, this is, I guess, where the rubber hits the road. When you're on your way to living in the flow, living with faith is a necessary requirement. It is not an option. It's like a must be, because life is going to test your faith. And when life tests your faith, you either fall back into security or you fall forward into growth, which is Abraham Maslow's saying. And that falling forward into growth is this serious knowing that your faith is and always will transcend any fear you have. And you intentionally choose faith above fear every day, every single day. I'm just looking at the time, it's 9 o'clock. I don't have the time to share out of my book a story, but there's an incredible story there where I had the option to do the silver method suddenly from an email from Silver International, knowing that I wanted to become a silver trainer. I'll just tell you very briefly. And it came out of nowhere, that email. I had just come back. I was working for myself. I'd left corporate now. I was selling investment property and starting to build a training, speaking, and coaching business. I was only doing leadership training at that stage or the John Maxwell content. My dream, my absolute dream was to become a Silver Method trainer. I wrote to Silver International. The headline was, "It's my dream." When they contacted me, they said, "Jeanine, we believe in you. We're ready to certify you, but you've got to come to America now. We're doing the training. You've got to come in 2 weeks' time." When I got that email, I was just come back from 4 weeks being away in South Africa on holiday. I was working for myself. If I'm not working, I'm not earning. So I just spent a lot of money traveling, being on holiday, and not working for 4 weeks. I needed to get back to work. I need to get back to start generating income again. This is how it is. And then they now want me to fly to America, and the whole investment was more than $17,000 to become a silver trainer. How was this ever going to work? It did not fit in. When I said to you earlier, when intuition starts guiding your life to your highest purpose, it is inconvenient. It doesn't fit in with your life. You must have this awareness. But faith is the governing principle. And it was through a series of strange events. I was running a retreat. I just got this email. I'm leading the retreat. I'm done the purpose, vision, and goal section. And then we were doing vision boards. And in that vision board exercise, I piped up. I just couldn't hold it in anymore. Said, "Oh, I've got a dilemma." And everyone said, "Oh, what's your dilemma?" And I turned around and I said, "My dilemma is, the story I got offered to do the Silver Method certification, and it's just the wrong time, and the money, I don't have it, and I need to start earning money. I've got to go, and there's all this money I need to spend." And everyone said to me, "Jeanine, this is a no-brainer. This is your dream. You must go." And I thought, yeah, but they don't understand my predicament. Okay, it's easy for them to say. They don't have to pay for it. And then at that retreat, there was someone who was doing psychometry. And I've never been to a medium at that stage in my life. And I thought, well, she's here and she's part of this retreat. Someone got her there as an associate. Let me go and have a go. And I took off my ring. She took my ring and she just started to say, "Did you lose a child?" And I said, "No." And she said, "Do you have children?" I said, "No." She goes, "Well, I'm picking up the energy of a child here, someone who's young enough to be your child." So I said, "Well, how old is the person?" And she said, 21. And I said, "Well, my younger brother passed and he was young enough to be my child. I just prefer my sleep. That's why I chose to have a brother like him instead of having me as my child." Anyway, and she said, "He's coming through and he says, you've got travel potentially coming up and you're confused about it. He says to me, I must tell you that you must go." Then she carries on talking about all these kind of things. I'm thinking, wow, this is honestly quite accurate. And she gave me other information, very accurate. And then she came back to that subject and said, "Your brother's again, he's actually saying he's insisting that you go. This travel, whatever it is that's coming up for you, that you're thinking about and worrying about, he's insisting." He said, "Don't worry, you must go. It will all work out." Because of that experience, and I never had a psychic reading before, I just trusted that. I went home that night. It was the end of the retreat. And I just prayed that night and I just said, okay, I surrender. I let go. I trust the guidance. When the guidance comes, I recognize the guidance has helped me before. I just trust that I've always been carried and I always will be. And I just let go. The next morning, I got a phone call from my tax accountant saying, Jeanine, you'll be pleased with your tax return. There were corrections made on last year's tax return, and your NRAS properties with this incentive from the government that had to be corrected for 2 years prior finally paid out. And I went to the post box. When I opened my tax return, I had a refund of $41,000 the very next day. And that is the timing. That is a gift. That is knowing that you're on the right path, that life is guiding you. That's living in the flow. And it's that faith. Everything with my logical mind said, you can't go to America now. Tell them you'll take up the offer if it still stands in next year or the year after. But faith is overriding all logic, all fear, all insecurity, and putting everything at it with total faith, surrendering. And that's why it says their faith is not belief without proof. It's trust, 100% trust, total conviction, without any reservation. And we have to learn that and develop that. It's not something you're just gifted with. You practice it. So my book is a practice. The whole book is about a practice. So faith is a choice, not a feeling. It means choosing to trust God even when life doesn't seem to make sense. And all I can say to you is when you choose faith over fear, your life becomes truly blessed. So here we have it. That's living in the flow. You know your 3 highest priorities. When you're practicing the 3 highest priorities, just those 3, you will live on purpose. That's about the vision. You'll live the guided life. All things will show up for you and literally guide your life. Closed doors, open doors. Living with faith. You practice it. It's in the book. And then part 2, living beyond yourself. These were the 3 chapters that came, and I just noted them down, and I got that dream. Living fully by serving others. That's what purpose is. So living in the title, Living in the Flow, is a subtitle there, which is a guide to discovering your purpose and value. Your value in this world is how you serve others. Purpose is always about serving others. And chapter 9 is about love. The whole chapter is about love and forgiveness. There's also about tithing. Tithing is also in my book. I won't go into that now. But that's a necessary requirement to live in the flow. It absolutely is. To live a blessed life of abundance and prosperity, the discipline of tithing has to become a part of a person's life. And then last but not least is living a legacy. So let's sum it up. Your 3 highest priorities: developing a consistent connection to source, finding your life purpose, developing your intuition. Then you live on purpose, live a guided life, live with faith, and then live beyond yourself. So in the workshop, we are practicing this. I just want to show you this quick video I made. This is what the workshop's going to be about. When I said we asked and you answered, it was about the survey that I did if you wanted to do a mini mastermind. So if you can all just watch, let me just put this on. Oops. Okay, so that's the video. Just about having some fun. We're going to be creative. It's a holistic learning one-day retreat. It's not a workshop, it's a retreat. And we're going to be doing different things as opposed to left brain stuff. We're going to do right brain. As much as we can, right brain stuff, art, creativity, music, fun. Denise, if you don't mind, just keep your phone still if you can. Sorry, just, yeah. Okay, so here's what we'll be covering off in the one-day retreat for anyone who wants to join. Time in nature, holistic learning experiences, where you get the learning for yourself. I don't teach you anything. You have an experience and you create the learning. We'll be doing vision boards, as I said, with another technique beforehand in meditation. We'll be sitting in what we call an awareness circle, sitting in circle on the floor, on cushions. If you want a chair, you can use a chair. And connecting as a conscious collective. Cutting and polishing experiences that we have that are holistic to get the learnings for ourselves. We'll be doing some journaling with a Living in the Flow workbook. You'll get a workbook which comes from my book. I wrote a workbook to accompany my book, and you'll be given a copy of that. It does cover all 10 chapters, even though we'll only go through 4, because I want you to experience the 3 highest priorities. You need to experience them and then practice them, and you'll do them with me, and then you need to practice them ongoing. Guys, to be honest, I'm only talking for myself here. It took me years to develop certain practices that I live by every day of my life. Things like the meditations that I do every single day, the gratitude journaling that I do every single day, experiences about being in nature, how I connect with source, whether it's prayer, through meditation, whatever, prayer is your thing. If it's not, it doesn't matter. You still have the opportunity to tap into this higher power. So we're going to do journaling and reflection, lots of things with music. We're going to do meditation, and it won't break the bank. It's going to be a great investment for yourself and your well-being. So there is an early bird price. It's $250. The normal price, if the early bird ends, is $499 for the whole day. We spend the whole day from 9 to 6 together. The early bird ends on the 25th of October. It was $199. I changed the price to, I wanted to be really inexpensive because I want people to come in and have the experience. I really do. I really want people to live in the flow. I want them to find their purpose and live their best life. So I added $50. We're providing lunch, be catered for, and also all the materials to do with the vision boards. The workbooks will be printed for you. All the pens, the papers, the coloring in stuff, the glue, everything will be provided. So if you want to join in, places are limited because after being in nature for the part of the morning, when we get back to do vision boards in the office in the afternoon, the meditations and journaling and things, we will still be under certain restrictions. So I can't take an infinite number of people. It's going to be somewhere around 14 to 20 max. So that is the price and that is the offer. If you'd like to do it, great. And if you don't, I hope you got value out of today anyway. And then just to quickly give you a wrap up here of what's coming up next. So any questions? First of all, any questions on the living in the flow or any questions on the retreat from anyone?
I think there are questions on the chat.
Let me see. Tithing means any form of giving, like to animal welfare. Okay, tithing is helping any cause that's meaningful to you, that how can I say, they are in more need in their life than what you are. So they are disadvantaged some way, somehow, and you are being a blessing to that cause. It doesn't have to be a church. It can be any charity. It can even be a person that, and there's also a level of intuition with tithing. It's written in my book. You do need every single time you tithe to have a fresh start. Every time it's a fresh start. Not like, oh, I'm tithe and I'm going to give every single month 10% to this place. No, every time it's intuitive so that you are always living a guided life. And sometimes it might be someone who you think doesn't even need the money. They might be someone that you know and you think that they're fine with money. You just got to trust it. And I'm telling you, the experiences that I've had in doing that sometimes has brought some people to tears, and they said, how did you know I was going through a struggle right now? I haven't told anyone. And it's just, I knew when that happened, that again, it's intuition and it's guidance. So it can be anything. So yeah, like helping animals or nature or people or children, whatever anything means to you, or an individual person or a stranger. You just look at a stranger and you think through an impulse, that's the person. And you just say, this doesn't come from me. It comes from where everything comes from. And if you had a prayer, this is your answer to your prayer. Please explain, tithing is not only to a church. No, it's not only to, it can be to a church. If the church is what you want to tithe to, you can, but it's not only that. No, tithing just means it's a strict discipline of knowing that everything comes to you. It's not yours. It's not yours. My money is not mine. My money is not mine. I manage it. I manage this money that flows into my life. And for the managing of it, and to do good in this world with it, I get to keep 90%. That's what tithing is. The money is not mine. It comes to me to literally be the hands of God on this planet and help disadvantaged people who need it. And for that managing of it, I get to keep 90%. It's a totally different mindset to I have to give, like how am I going to afford it? And 10% is a big amount, but my book explains that I can't talk about that too quickly. It's more broad to understand the principle of it is a stretch, 10%. It is taking you out of your comfort zone. But why does it need to take you out your comfort zone? Why must it be a stretch? Why couldn't it be an easy 5%, Jeanine? Because then how do you develop faith? Faith is the power principle of all time. The power principle of all time. All the miracles that you ever want in your life to carry you to your highest purpose come from faith, and tithing develops faith. So every one of these things is interconnected and interlinked. All right. Any more questions from anyone? Anyone? No? Okay. You can talk if you want to talk.
Hello, Jeanine.
Yeah.
So, and to entry my, to pay my, as usual, pay to bank account?
No, sorry, just to tell you. Okay, that's a good question. An email went out. Please look for my email.
Yeah.
It went out yesterday.
You told me the website. I don't know.
It says apologies. We changed the date. It was the 4th. We changed the date to the 12th of December.
Yeah, that one I know.
And then the link to the booking is in that email. So please only book via the link to my website, or go to my website. Only book via the website. Do not pay me directly.
If I find some problem, so
you can call me, Shafiul. I'll send you the email direct to you. Don't worry.
No, I remember, but I find maybe difficult other way. That is the question. I don't want to.
Okay, I'll tell you what. I will. If you'd like to, call me tomorrow. I'll help you.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so the next coming up event it's the 4 key skills to take charge of your life or to empower you. Introduction to the Silver Method. If you've done the Silver Method, you want to share this with someone who hasn't done it, please feel free. That's just a short tips from the Silver Method. The next class is the last class for the year. It's 4th to the 7th of November. It's a 4-day immersion. I'm not sure if this is going to be live or online. From the lockdown things, it might end up being online again. We'll just play it by ear. If we can't meet, it'll be online. There's no problem. If we can meet, it'll be I don't think we can meet. From what I'm understanding, we're not out of lockdown. So this is going to change, potentially. And then the Living in the Flow is the last event for the year. The 1-day retreat, if you'd like to join that. Okay, we're now going to do a guided meditation. So for anyone who's new, just grab a pen and paper. Even if you're not new, grab a pen and paper. I'll ask you questions at the end, and your intuition will answer the questions, not your logical mind, hopefully. If you're very relaxed, your intuition will help you answer the questions. Okay, is everyone ready? If you have anything to ask or ask now, otherwise we'll go ahead with the guided meditation. No? Okay. All right, so if you're new, just listen to the instructions and enjoy the meditation. There's nothing for you to do right now. Just relax. Keep your cameras open, or keep your cameras on, and just relax. Can you hear the sound? Just give me okay, thank you. All right, find a comfortable position. Close your eyes. Take a nice deep breath in, and as you exhale, just allow the tensions in your body to release and float away. Take another deep breath, and as you exhale, begin to feel your body relaxing. Feel the tension leaving your scalp from the top of your head. And relax your scalp. Relax your forehead. Relax your eyes and the tissue surrounding your eyes. Relax your cheeks, your tongue and jaw. Relax your whole face. Relax your neck. Relax your shoulders, arms, and hands. Take another breath in, nice deep breath, and as you exhale, feel the tension leaving your back, from your neck to the end of your spine. Relax your chest. Relax your abdomen. Relax your hips and pelvic area. Relax your thighs. Relax your knees. Relax your calves. Relax your feet, all the way down to your toes. You are now in a deep state of relaxation. Continue to breathe deeply, slowly, and rhythmically. You're now going to create in your mind an ideal place of relaxation. It can be real or imagined, somewhere that you've been, or maybe somewhere that you'd like to go. And allow it to be a place where you feel totally relaxed. Begin to experience this place right now. Experience it as if you are truly there, using all of your mental senses. Now that you've created your ideal place of relaxation, you're going to add a waterfall of white light into the scene. Place it wherever you choose. The waterfall is gentle, allowing you to stand under the cascading white light. The light is a healing energy, a clearing energy. Your waterfall of white light is now created. Walk over to the waterfall and stand under the white healing light. Allow the white light to swirl around you, encompassing you within its glow. It is clearing the stress, tension, and clutter of the day, of the week, of the past month, of the past year, of the lifetime from your energy field, from your atmosphere or your aura. As the light clears your energy field, just notice how much happier you look. Notice the smile on your face and see how the weights that you've been carrying are no longer a burden. Notice how your energy field is now expanding out as you are radiating love. This waterfall of light is always available to you, whenever you need it. All you need to do is close your eyes and imagine your ideal place of relaxation and immerse yourself in this healing white light. Now take a deep breath, relax even deeper, and repeat these beneficial statements to yourself mentally. Every day, in every way, I am getting better, better, and better. Positive thoughts, suggestions, and images bring me benefits and advantages I desire. I will always maintain a perfectly healthy body, mind, and immune system. The following statements are for your better health. Keep in mind that from now on, I will occasionally be speaking in your place. Every second, every minute, every hour, every day, every cell, tissue, organ, and system of my body is revitalized, restored, and renewed, resulting in a perfectly healthy body, mind, and immune system. I'm able to function in harmony, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually to promote maximum benefits. My awareness in using my mind allows me to do activities that promote increased health, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Now imagine the white light turns to green. You are now immersed in a glowing green light. This green light is unconditional love. It surrounds you. It encompasses you. It flows through your entire being. It fills you with love. All those hurts you felt, all the pain you've ever felt, the angry moments, just allow this green light, this unconditional love, to heal those spaces now. You are an amazing human being. You deserve love. You deserve joy. You deserve abundance, prosperity, and you deserve peace. And you deserve freedom. It's now time to step out of the waterfall. Step out of the waterfall of light. Your energy field is now clean and clear. You are centered. You have clarity. You have focus. You are in the flow of universal love and energy. Just take a moment to enjoy this feeling of connectedness. You have now reset your body and mind for the month ahead. It's now time to set your intention for the month ahead. Tune into your inner wisdom, your higher self, the part of you that, if you tuned in, guides you and intuitively knows what is best for you. Just feel the alignment with your higher self. Feel the connection. I'm going to ask you 2 or 3 questions in a relaxed state. Just allow the first thoughts that pop in your mind to be the answer and write them down. Don't analyze anything or question anything. Just write down your first impressions and then take a deep breath, relax, and re-enter the meditation and wait for the next question. I'll guide you. The first question is, what do I need to focus on for the month ahead? Write down your first impressions. Next question. What steps do I need to take me closer to what I want to be, do, or have? Whatever comes to mind, write it down. Don't judge it. Just write down your first impressions and then relax and close your eyes and re-enter the meditation. What steps do I need to take me closer to what I want to be, do, or have? And then the question is, next question, what do I need to let go of? What do I need to let go of? And the last question is there anything else? Anything else I need to do? Anything else I need to know? Is there anything else? Just write down your first impressions. And allow deep breath and relax. I'm going to count from 1 to 3. At the count of 3, you'll open your eyes, be wide awake, feeling fine and in perfect health, feeling better than before. 1, 2, 3. Eyes open, wide awake, feeling fine and in perfect health, feeling better than before. Welcome back, everybody. How did you go? Got a thumbs up for 2? Okay. I'm going to stop the recording. Anybody want to ask me any questions or share any epiphanies?